unforgivable.
Talking about your favorite governess between you and I think she's kind of sexy. I've said it before. I think she's kind of sexy. Relative to what governors usually look like. Female governors. I think she's kind of sexy. But also, bring it in, what the FBI doesn't know is that they didn't catch the real ringleader. You see, these individuals who do this stuff, they just don't have it up here. The real plan isn't to kidnap her and put her on trial, as they were trying to say. The real plot, there's a nice basement somewhere with trapeze, some gag balls, some cuffs. She's probably into that kind of stuff. The husband's probably a bottom bitch. Keep that between us. 13 members of an anti-government group bent on igniting a civil war are charged in a plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who the group targeted in a possible commando raid on the state capitol, according to newly unsealed court records. 13 individuals charged in total, 6 individuals for the plot to kidnap her, 7 other individuals with other various state crimes. Those were mostly aimed at police. Interesting how some individuals were going after her, and then some individuals were going after the police. As we've heard in recent days, she's been losing court cases. The court's been saying, hey, no, it's what we've always known. The courts have been saying, no, you're bullshit, unconstitutional, cut it out. Her attorney general said he's not going to enforce a lot of the orders that she's been trying to push on him. However, he had been doing it in the past, so what does that say about him? Surprised there wasn't some kind of plot against him as well. Perhaps there was. I'm coming at this from a place of cynicism, because individuals like this are stupid. And I'll show you some photos, and then I have some ideas, a couple other articles I want to show you, but individuals like this are dumb to me. I was having a discussion with an individual in the comments about the video yesterday, the riots in Milwaukee and everything like that, and he was saying that he's getting close to the tipping point. And I know that's just rhetoric. I know it doesn't mean anything. But what I said to him was, and it would be this, the example would be this, is the deck is clearly stacked against individuals on the right at this point. That this gets all the headlines, and then you have somebody like Whitmer who will come out and make statements like this. The governor said this should be a time for national unity against the pandemic, but said that Trump has spent the past 7 months denying science. Okay, science denier, ignoring his own health experts. Fauci and Burke said it's okay to vote in person, but yet here we are. My mail-in ballot came in the mail today. That's because I already had registered for that. I've always gotten my ballot through the mail, and I just go drop it off on election day. Stoking distrust and fomenting anger while giving comfort to those who spread fear and hatred and division. Now, Whitmer decried hatred and bigotry from her Capitol office Thursday, yada, yada, yada. She played politics. Let's skip down a little bit. It says, Governor Whitmer denounces hate groups, says President Trump is complicit. She denounced hate groups. I wonder, is she going to do it? Little pillow talk we had. We talked about BLM. We talked about some ANTIFA. We talked about the KKK. We talked about some supremacists. We talked about all these militia type like groups that are flying those, Confederate battle flags. Let's see if that pillow talk translated to anything, Gretchen. You and I, baby, we're right here. Pillow talk, baby. Let's see who she calls out. She noted that Trump said a white supremacist group called the Proud Boys should stand back and stand by. Not going to act like I know everything they stand for, but from what I've seen and read, to call them a supreme group is a huge stretch given their makeup of the individuals within the organization. I always find it interesting that individuals like Whitmer, they'll sit here and say these things, talking about denying the science. What's the recovery rate for individuals under 50? I've heard it's 99.9. I don't know, that seems kind of high. Is that accurate? Let's deny the science, right? It must be Trump that's denying the science. 99.9? If that's true, who's really denying the science? Lockdown orders, businesses being forced to close left and right, a lot of them forever, and you're sitting here acting like you don't get why people are angry? So what I was reading in other sources was that this plot had been dating back to May, I believe. I don't know if it was before that, but she cites the debate. And then, of course, you can go on and cite the Liberate Michigan, which was the Trump tweet during that time where individuals went to the state capitol with guns and they made a big deal out of it. Individuals exercising their Second Amendment right. But you sit here as a person, okay, let's bring it back to me and you. We're being serious this time. How can a person be this way? I couldn't sit here and say the kind of things that I say if I knew that I was the problem. But you have individuals who get into power, or as they rise through the ranks of power, and you can take a jab at both sides. Feel free. Doesn't hurt me any, believe me. I couldn't be that person. At least I hope I couldn't be that person that would sit here and act like someone else is the problem when they may be in part. But a huge part of the problem would be me. If I ran some company, a business, I'm just throwing something off the top of my head, some kind of analogy. I ran some business and I was a dick about it. And people kept quitting. And when asked about this, I'd be like, oh, well, they just can't handle the culture. It must be them, not me. When everyone else knows that I'm the problem. That's Whitmer. She's the problem. And people know that she's the problem. So this isn't a surprise to me that people try to take it to this level. So after that kind of, like I said, that pillow talk, the kind of lovey-dovey moments, I thought I was getting through to her. I guess, I'll have to talk to her again on our next trip to the vacation house. She calls out the Proud Boys. All the groups to call out. All those individuals we see on the TV screen causing damage, running amok in our cities, smashing windows, beating people down who don't throw up the little fist. That opportunity that she could have taken to call out the real terrorists that we see, and as far as I see it. Do the Proud Boys cause damage? I don't know. I've never heard these guys, and perhaps they have, I've never heard this group of individuals being shown on the news as going around and smashing up things in the streets. And this is getting back to what I said earlier. How do these individuals really look at themselves in the mirror? Is it just me? Is it just us? How can you sit here and lie to people? Even if there are extremist groups on the right, and I'm sure there are, how could you not call out both? Is that where we're at? Actually, I'm dumb for asking that. Of course, that's where we're at. Partisanship, baby. But how do you sleep at night? And this is what I've asked a few times before. How do you sleep at night knowing that you're full of shit and that you're out there lying to people just to retain political power because you think that within your bubble, in her case it's Michigan, that a larger group of people is going to believe the lies you tell? It gets back to things I've said before about media, celebrities, these people in power using weak individuals and mindfuck them in a way to do the bidding for whatever political party that's putting out the message. Keep cranking it up a little bit until people snap. Let me show you one last thing. This is something that's always been on my mind. And I've talked about this in terms of Black Lives Matter, Antifa, whatever you want to call them. Now let's compare the mugshots of these militia members. Pay close attention. All right, so let's take a look at what we're working with here. Okay, all right. A lot of white people here. This guy looks kind of normal, I guess. More white people. More white people. Okay, let me show you something else. Interesting photo. There sure are a shit ton of white people here. Let's take a look at a couple more. Interesting cast of characters. They're lacking diversity. Netflix wouldn't go for this. Hollywood wouldn't go for this. You can't even win an Oscar with this. You can't win a BAFTA with this. Come on. We need some more colored folk in there. One more. As much as I love me some Gretchen, this one right here. Come on. The eyebrows? Look at the lips. Look at, you got the painted. Is that one a boy? Probably a girl. This one? Doesn't a couple of these guys kind of look familiar? Look at this guy. Let's focus on him. And maybe this guy. Let's picture him clean shaven a little bit more with a thicker mustache. Getting back to the first photo I showed you, Daniel Bryan here, apparently a look-alike fan of his. This guy, picture him with a little shadow. This guy seemed like maybe we've seen him somewhere before. These other two, unremarkable. The point is to me, lacking the melanin like I do, these individuals are all the same to me. They all look the same to me. Pretty much for the most part, like this guy looks pretty clean. You shave him up, maybe. That looked like me when I was in high school. Maybe. These individuals, they're all fucked up looking. They all look the same to me. Now, as I've said many times, I don't understand how so many white people can be out for Black Lives Matter, because we know what Black Lives Matter stands for. And we know that if there was an instance, say these individuals, these allies, help Black Lives Matter gain some form of power, that those white people would be subjugated, servants, slaves, if you will. Interesting how those white individuals are fine going along with that, knowing that they're second-class citizens within a movement. Why? I always question why. And I was having this discussion in the comments as well yesterday. I don't understand it. Am I seeing it wrong? It just seems strange to me that these white people, and Asian people as well that I see out there marching, that they would be down for an organization who doesn't see them as a first-class citizen. Males, especially males of any color. We know they hate males of any color. It's on their website. Even if they scrubbed it, we know what it says. But getting back to it, white supremacists, these guys, possibly. Anti-government, more likely, probably. The comparison is that these people and the people I see at Black Lives Matter rallies, you saw here at the riots, if you stripped away this right here, you stripped away this verbiage, and granted there's some telltale signs with the people in Portland, the purple hair, the weird lips and stuff like that, but if you stripped away the verbiage and you just put all of these people on the same poster, kind of like that game Guess Who, right? If you put all of these people on the same poster, just put all 30 or 40 of them, how many ever there were total, and you said pick out the Antifa and then pick out the militia members. And you said, okay, out of these 30 or 40, it's evenly split. There's 15 or 20 of each. Pick them out. It's like a brain teaser kind of thing. Could you legitimately pick out the individuals that would be on each side just from the mugshots if you knew nothing about them? That being said, in the circles I travel, I don't really see people that look like either of these. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. All right, well, we'll see what happens with this. I've heard some people talking about FBI entrapment in the Michigan case. That's just rumor. There's no concrete evidence that I have of any of that. So we'll see how things play out. We'll see what kind of information plays out. But I just wanted to kind of draw a parallel between the two, that you have Whitmer out here talking about individuals who words matter. The things our leaders say matter. Well, yeah, bitch. You put everybody on lockdown to where the court had to get involved and say that your stuff was unconstitutional. What do you expect? I'm not saying what they did was the right thing, obviously. I mean, you know, like I said, she's a little fly, and I wouldn't want to see one hair on that pretty little head harmed. A little dungeon action, but anyway, the FBI can serve a lot of good if they're working to bring down extremist groups on both the left and the right. I hope that's something that we all can agree on, that maybe there's 10% wackos on the right, maybe 20% on the left. I'm just kind of spitballing, guessing, and whatnot, but the rest of us in the middle, the 70, 75% maybe, we're just out here trying to have normal lives. Trying to have fun in our day-to-day lives, trying to grind on the 9 to 5, spending time with the loved ones, and we're just sitting out here watching all this stuff happen. All right, everybody, be well. Brain teaser, right? They're all the same to me. White nationalists, black nationalists, I've said it before. They're all racist. I'm not saying these individuals specifically are, but like I said, they're all the same to me. They can all go for themselves. Take care, everybody. Be well.